I know I'm a couple days late. I apologize. I was not actually expecting to have enough to say about Build Divide to do a video, and then stuff happened, and yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to work out potentially talking about 4 anime a week. But don't worry, we'll get there. Or we won't, and I'll haphazardly get through everything like normal, but we will see. We will try. We will maybe work things out, but for now, let us talk about Card Fight Vanguard Overdress, episode 14, aka the one for the shippers. Because let's be real, that's what was really going on here. But since I'm not super qualified to talk about that, let's talk about what actually happened in the episode. So, yeah. This episode opens with a fairly interesting idea, and that is the first episode of the new arc was about Donji and Megumi. And something I really liked about that episode, I forgot to mention last week, was that I really liked the idea that it was just the two of them. Yu wasn't there was no Toya, no Tamari, it was just these two characters. There was no need to just shove the protagonist in it, there was no need to make it all about him. The show had enough faith in you to follow these two, technically side characters, in comparison to the protagonist. But so naturally that meant that this week we would focus on, well, the other two main characters. And I know Tamari is there and technically a main character. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, no. So the episode opens up. And what's interesting also is that this treats itself as a season premiere. Even though last week's episode was technically the season premiere, this one sort of treats itself as an episode 1 in the way it kind of introduces you to everything, catches you up, in a way last week's didn't. Almost as if because since Yu is the MC and Toya is the rival, arguably the two most important characters in a card game anime, especially for what's going to look like this arc, it's almost like their story starting is really where things begin, and last week was trying to wrap things up for two characters. But yeah, no, so this episode opens with a monologue by Yu getting us up to speed, and also talking about the situation with Toya in general. We see that Toya is the one fixing the merry-go-round by himself, and somehow he hasn't died of tetanus yet. But yeah, no, he's doing it, and what I like is Yu is giving this speech. You kind of get the impression he's still kind of mad. It's only been, a week or two? And he's still kind of annoyed about all this, which he has the right to be. And he even says, Toya's the one breaking it, but he's also the one fixing it. I really like the way Yu's actor does it. It's very clear he's putting on a very heavy voice. I forgot to watch the dub, I'm sorry, so I don't know how that he comes across in that. But as far as this is concerned, Yu's actor does a really good job of acting through the voice he's put on, which is always very important with this kind of character. So then we move on to, we see Toya is fixing everything, Yu wants to help, Toya doesn't want him to help, and when Toya walks away, Tamari shows up. And Tamari actually gets a nice scene with Yu where they kind of talk about forgiveness and moving on and how to fix everything. I really hope Tamari gets more to do this arc. My problem with Tamari, and this isn't entirely the show's fault, is that in the marketing, Tamari gets played up a lot, hence the name of the booster set, Genesis of the Five Greats. And I believe that what had happened was the people working on the show had only planned for 4 main characters, Toya, Megumi, and Donji. But then Bushiroad was like, well, we're making a booster set based around 5 different clans or nations or whatever the fuck, and so you need to make someone a 5th main character so we can put them on the box. And they figured since Tamari got the next most amount of screen time, they went with her. So because of this, you went into the show thinking she'd be super important when she wasn't. She just kind of came in and out at the story's convenience. So I'm sort of hoping now that they've had more time to work on episodes, they do make her more of a major player as opposed to someone who just sort of shows up. But yeah, no, I really like that scene with her and Yu, and then she goes off, and then Yu does something I really like. He makes the conscious decision to help Toya in the same way Donji helped him. And of course, naturally, we find that they both suck at all of Donji's odd jobs. I don't know why, I find it so weird he's living in Donji's apartment. I don't know, I get taking care of the turtle. I did like how the turtle kind of looked like he was trying to claw his way out of the tank. He's like, no, gotta get out of here before the yaoi shit starts. But yeah, no, I like that when you see Toya kind of like having to adapt to this new kind of life, he kind of just sucks at it. It's not just in the background, like the forefront of this episode is watching this guy kind of struggle with the new situation he's in. We find out he's kind of dipped out of school for a bit to deal with everything, and we kind of just see him struggling to get through, dealing with just garbage or cleaning the bathroom. Ladies, you know you like that cleaning the bathroom shit, if you know what I mean. But yeah, no, we see then that just a montage of all the stuff Donji would do, all his, like, comical odd jobs, and they're both just failing. And what I kind of like about this scene is I like the way, or series of scenes, I like the way it plays into, like, the fact that these two are our main rivals. Everyone's on board with the fact that Toya is the main rival, right? I know a lot of people assumed it was sort of going to be Donji and it was going to be an Ichikai thing, but no. It is very much this kind of idea of the kid who's just kind of drifting in life without a lot of confidence versus the guy who's always like, I gotta be on the goal, I gotta be the best, I gotta do the best. And I kind of like how that then kind of is reiterated in this episode. With each of the little jobs they do, each of them kind of makes it a friendly competition. Like, oh, I'm going to get finished first, help you. I'm going to get first, help you. I like that it's not overly, like, competitive or angry like competitive, because that's not these two people. They're not particularly angry people. Granted, we got off an arc where Toya is very angry. And they're not, like, very, like, strung up people. These are two people just kind of looking for their place and trying to form it. And they kind of see it already in each other. Man, that sounded really gay. But basically, they just kind of do their, like, friendly rivalry stuff. And I think this is kind of a friendly rivalry I can get behind. Because it's kind of more this idea of just kind of, like, wanting to better yourself and then seeing how you have to kind of involve other people to do it. But yeah, no, so then they do all that, fail miserably, and we then get the scene that I imagine everyone's talking about, and that is Toya is just buck-ass naked in Donji's bathroom taking a bath. Also, I like how they showed the end of season 1, and Yu Yu says, Toya was so exhausted. If I had to stare at Donji's cock as long as he did in that weird dream thing, I would be too. But yeah, no, we get him, like, nude in the bath, and it's just kind of an interesting, simple little thing. If we take any of the jokes of, like, pretty boy naked out of it, the idea that just kind of, he can't even, like, figure out where the shower is type thing, like, with his eyes closed. Like, just those little things of just showing how lost this guy is in life, I really like. But then we get on to what is clearly the best bit of the episode, and that is Yu Yu gets everyone to help fix everything, and then they go to a card shop, and oh my god, I love it when Card Game Anime will throw us a fucking bone and just show people in a card shop looking for cards, and then they just have, like, a nice conversation. Well, you could play this, well, it's high stake, high roll, and I like that that is the thing that gets him more comfortable around everyone. Yu Yu says at the beginning, Vanguard is a big part of why they become friends. And I feel like this is a good way to show it. Show them actually bonding over Vanguard and, like, just kind of how comfortable it makes them to be able to just talk about it and, like, not have the problems of their lives weigh in while they do it. I think that's a very nice, sweet little bit. I also like that it just involves these kind of, like, background characters who are just there. It makes it feel like he's befriending everyone, not just Yu Yu or not just Megami or something. So yeah, and then we get back to the merry-go-round. It's all lit up. Everyone's probably gonna fall through something old and die. But yeah, no, they're like, let's have a card fight. And we do the card fight, and of course it's kind of what you expect from an Overdress card fight. We kind of just skip everything till we get to the new things they're looking to sell the set. Now, obviously the reason that we didn't really get anything from set 2 is when the first season ended, they probably didn't have it all finished and all that good stuff, which I understand, but I choose to believe that what's really happened here is that in-universe, the characters have realized how shitty set 2 was, and they've just skipped it in their own minds. Yeah, but no. So they fight, and I just like how comfortable the two are with each other. The two actors are very good with each other. But then, of course, naturally, Toya wins, because it wouldn't be a very good rivalry if Yu Yu won again, because next, obviously, Yu Yu is going to want to get stronger, so he can beat Toya next, and all that good stuff. And the episode ends with everyone happy and everyone friends. And so, yeah, that was this week's Overdress. Also, interestingly enough, I like how in the episode preview, they actually show a clip from next week. That wasn't a thing we did. Oh, yeah, also, Yu Yu in the dress again and Toya the bear. It was funny how Toya spun his head, but I really the Yu dress thing feels like such a black hole of a plot point. They've just done nothing with it and just kind of exists. But yeah, no. So that was this week's Cardfight Vanguard Overdress. I really like spending some time with these two characters and watching them bond. But what do you think about that in the comments section below? Now, as for the Vanguard question of the week, a couple days ago, Bushiroad had a stream where the question of in-person events came up again, and we know that they'll be starting some stuff in Japan, no word yet on the international market. So my question for you is, do you think that we will see competitive Vanguard events come back in 2022? I personally think yes. It might not be exactly what we want, but there does seem to be that the card game companies are realizing it's time to start kicking into gear. So tell me what you think about that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week for maybe more Yaoi. It's Cardfight Vanguard. There will definitely be some more theories of Yaoi.